Yes, Sir Hairless here. It's our first Metallica video, Nothing Else Matters. I'll start off by saying I really don't know Metallica. My parents didn't listen to them, my friends growing up didn't. I've just not been exposed to them. So why are we doing this song? Well, I did a poll on Patreon that included Metallica's Whiskey in the Jar. However, there was a bit of pushback and this was the song that people wanted to see as my first Metallica video. It is a song and possibly the only Metallica song, to be honest, that I know, and that's because I did a video on a cover version of it by VoicePlay. That was very cool. Feel free to check it out after if you want to see that. I did know this song a little bit before doing that video, but I don't think I've ever watched the Metallica video all the way through or even heard the song all the way through, to be completely honest. It's not a song that I can play in my head from start to finish, let's put it that way. And I've certainly not listened to this song since my VoicePlay video, which was over a year ago. I have, however, listened to the VoicePlay version many times, so that's actually the version I'm familiar with. So this is really my Metallica introduction and my first proper listen to this song. I'm slowly becoming a bit more exposed to metal music through Disturbed and Nightwish, and I'm sure many more artists to come. I really don't remember all the little nuances in this. Lovely guitar playing. Yeah, it's a nice one. The video too is very cool. Copyright is tough with these reaction videos, as I'm sure you know, so I am going to pause here. Better to be safe than sorry. I'd rather do a pause, let you know, give you a chance to skip ahead to the timestamp here if you don't want to hear my thoughts, than have my video taken down. It's a nostalgic video, isn't it? I really like it. Some funny looks. I don't know the Metallica members, by the way, so you're going to have to educate me in the comments. A fretless bass. And the blurred out topless woman, and just overall the aesthetic. You know, as someone who is really not familiar with Metallica at all, I find it really interesting. They've all got the long hair, the headband of the drummer here, what a look. It complements the bandages on his finger, to be fair. All right, well, let's just go back through a little bit of what we've heard so far. It's a long song, so I'll try not to go into too much analytical detail, but I will point out the things that I find the most interesting. And just before we do that, I will also be reacting after this to their 2007 Wembley live performance of this song. I've received a lot of recommendations for that one. I'm told it's a little bit different, so I've not seen that one yet. Ooh, we had a change in the harmony there. But if you want to see that one as well in my full video, you can find that at the link below in the description or the pinned comment over on Patreon. So we start off, the key is E minor. Just doing an arpeggio up and down. Quite solemn, setting the tone. And then the other guitar comes in, so melodic, almost as if we might expect a sung melody to be doing that. Really, really melodious guitar playing. But to kind of counter that in a strange way, we get dissonance. Just there. Which is interesting because we get this note, the B, which clashes with it. This arpeggio figure, instead of doing that, it repeats the B here, so we get... And it's on that repeat instead of moving up. that forces the clash with this C. And that's not the only time we get something like that. The other main thing about this intro is the rhythms. The finger plucking style is very rhythmic in its nature. We have no percussion. So the plucking nature, instead of strumming, is essentially giving us these beats which can be much more intricate and defined. Creating these little syncopations, which exaggerates when we move away from the plucking style. Suddenly we get some chords, not strummed, again plucked, but all the notes at the same time. Cha, 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 and then that again leads into some now even more intricate plucking, some really, really quick rhythms of the notes happening one after each other. The little riff, and then here into the harmonics. And how you create that sound, that kind of echoey sound, they're called harmonics, is by not fully placing your finger on the fret of the string. Really, really nice guitar intro. One other thing I like and that I noticed, now this could be intentional, I don't think it is, but this arpeggiated figure. Bum, 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 bum. That's 4 notes. There, did you hear the 3rd note? It was not played. I don't think that's intentional. I think it was just missed, but they've chosen to keep it in. This adds authenticity to the sound. In my head, this kind of points towards it maybe being recorded in fewer sessions than going over it meticulously 30, 40, 50 times, every little detail. Authentic is the word here. I could be completely wrong, so if I am, let me know, but that's the impression I get based on things like this. So we're hearing this arpeggio figure, chum, 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 equal rhythms. We've just had a missed note. Ah, there's a delay there, so I'm thinking, have they missed another note? Maybe it was on choice, but no, now the song just changes. New ideas are introduced. Some subtle extra instrumental layers in the background coming in, sustained, thickening the texture, but not in an intrusive way, all very subtle. Violins, strings, high up there. Oh, very high, but yeah, listen out for that one. The first 2 note didn't sound like strings actually, but now we can definitely hear the violins. Some lovely forced dissonance just before the singing comes in. So close, no matter how far. With the beat, so now things are heavier. As for the singing style, no vibrato, straight tone, quite different to your operatic style of singing. Like I say, I don't really know Metallica. I'm not sure if I know other songs by them, so I don't know what they usually sound like. And as far as I'm aware, this is not a heavy metal song, all things considered. You know, if I heard this on the radio, I didn't know who it was, I would not think, oh, this is heavy metal. So let's carry on from where we paused. Now we're noticing the rhythmic complexity is kind of shifting from the, well, we're still having it in the guitar parts, but now the percussion is kind of taking over.
Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do. Never care for what they know. But I know so close, no matter how far. It couldn't be much more from
Nosferatu shirt, is that nice? All right, we'll do our second pause here. There's this new chord that's introduced. We've heard it before, you know, taking us into the next section. And this new chord is A. And of course we need the context, so the chords that come before it. So for most of the verses, we get 3 chords, which are these: E minor, then D, and then C. So they're just moving down. This might sound a bit clunky, but just to demonstrate. Never open myself this way. You know, that kind of thing. But then on Nothing Else Matters, we now get new chords, which are G, then B, but with the 7th note in, creating a B7 chord. I'll move the 7th note down here so it's close. And then back to this E minor chord, which we are very familiar with. So, and nothing else matters. And then we get the new chord in, so we get C again. And then the new chord is now A, where 2 of the notes change, the middle one stays. And then the section changes. That's just where we paused.
Nothing else matters.
So thinking about it, it's very simple chords for the whole song. It's just all about when they use each chord. There are 6 chords in total, I think. Every note in the scale, actually, I think, has a chord except for F. Let me hop to the piano. It will be easier to show you. So this song is in E, and E minor is the key. In the key of E minor, you have these notes. The second note I missed out is slightly strange because it's F, but it's an F sharp. All of the other notes, i.e. not the one strange note, have their chord played at some point in this song. And the funny thing is they're all major chords except for the home key E minor, which opens up the song with that arpeggio. Funny how every chord except for one is major, yet the song does not seem it. So all in all, we don't need to worry about the names or the theory, but the takeaway here should be they use simple chords, there's nothing crazy in here, and they repeat the same 3 chords quite a lot, but what makes this song is when they choose to use the other chords and how they affect what's to come. Harmony really is everything in music. You can have the best singers in the world, but it's the music underneath, how the chords work, how they change, that creates the real fundamental structure of the song upon which everything else is built. And this is why I try to bring attention to the harmony in my videos, because I think it's often overlooked. Speaking of harmony, they again choose their moments very precisely as to when to implement dissonance, i.e. notes that don't really work together in the traditional sense, that sound a bit weird, and that cause tension. Here's an example. See if you can point out which note in the melody is the bogey note.
As we live it our way, all these words I don't just say.
Did you get it? It was on words, all these words.
All these words I don't just say.
Why? Well, it would be easier and simpler for the melody to just go do, 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 which would be this. But no, instead they go, and then they jump down to here. Why is that a bogey note? Well, because the chord underneath is E. And you can see and hear how that clashes. A nice moment to choose to do that as well, where the lyrics are all these words I just don't say. Definite increase in tension. Nice harmony on the title words, Nothing Else Matters.
And nothing else matters.
And again, underneath that, very subtle dissonance coming through. Now our chord there is this. And the note coming through, the 7th note creating a dissonant chord, a minor 7th chord. Again, you don't need to worry about the theory too much, but why we can think of that as a dissonant chord or a funky chord, as I like to call them, well, your standard chords are just 3 notes. So you can add in a note like the 7th note, or the 9th note, or the 4th note, and you can hear how it gives the chord a bit of oh. Metallica don't seem to use them too often, so when they do use them, it really stands out.
I seek and I find in you every day for
The texture now really has become a lot thicker. We're hearing many more layers in there. The more layers you have, naturally you are going to get some dissonances here and there, but everything is quite subtle. It's a very carefully constructed arrangement. And why the sound is so thick and rich here is because of the orchestral instruments we're hearing. We spoke about the violins before. Now we seem to have some brass in there, some horns. Or is that supposed to be strings? To me, it sounds quite synthetic, i.e. digital sound effects. But this is quite old, right? What is this, early 90s by the video? Let's have a Google. 91, earlier than I thought. Now that was a fair bit before I was born, and I am aware technology was a lot more advanced than we might give it credit for back then. So I'm going to assume that these are digital orchestral sounds, but they definitely sound a bit less realistic and natural than we might have today. And I really liked this bit. Slide up.
Forever trusting who we are.
Dramatic way of singing there. It's good. It adds so much character. He sustains the last note. As his note sustained, the chords around it move, so he is causing dissonance and then consequent resolution. Nice little flick of ice cream was that in the video. Yeah, let's carry on.
Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. Myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they.
Yeah, I'm noticing in almost every single musical decision that they're making, tension is building. I mean, if we take the vocals, for example, we're hearing much more grit to the sound, you know, raspiness.
Trust I seek and I find in you.
And a bit before we have, again, sustained notes, distorted type sound.
Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way.
The vocal melody is now doing things that we've not heard before, so we're not on the edge, but we're not familiar with it because it's different. These are new musical ideas.
All these words I don't just say.
They're on all these words. That's the dissonant, the bogey note I spoke about before. Notice how much emphasis is on it now.
All these words I don't just say.
It's almost over the top, just rubbing in the musical clash there. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. And all that said, it's still just such a nice song. Melodious is the word that I have in my head. It's a melodious song. What better way to demonstrate that than by just listening to some of that instrumental interlude we had? So nice. I feel like he's rubbing in the fact I don't have any hair there. Yeah, all right, mate, all right. No, I'm very jealous of all of their long, luscious hair. You've still got that arpeggiated figure that opens the song, coming in underneath everything. When everything else is reduced a bit, we can hear it, but then when everything else comes back in, it disappears into the thick texture, but it's still there. That bit's nice, slowly rising in harmony whilst the bass underneath does not move. It's stagnant, static. The harmonic foundation underneath everything. I just love to know and see how many layers there are. There, that chord that just came in. The chord in the music. Again, coming in on that 7th note. And here.
Never cared for what they do.
How the one note refuses to move in the background.
Never cared for what they know. And I
The guitar just playing the longest notes, very rarely moving. And now we get the moving guitar again. Oh. Is that how it ends? I've always thought there are very interesting rhythms on that that motif. Bum, bum, bum. It's basically like an offset bar or measure. Bum, 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 bum. And then it just does that again. Cha, cha, cha. Rather than thinking in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as couplets. I would not have known this guitar riff here if it weren't for the cover version that I did a video on and have listened to many times since. VoicePlay are an a cappella group, but they made an exception and brought in a violin to replicate this bit, which I think was a good decision. And I like now how for the final utterance of this melody, everything is so much calmer, softer. He moves less. Fewer note changes. Something as simple as that, just changing notes fewer times, can just remove some of that energy from it, make it a bit more delicate. Ooh. Yeah, I really want to know what this is. 13, 14, 15. What are these dates? Via Phil, Vic, VIA, Phil, VIB, VIC. I can't read what this says up here. Proposal. This is almost like a riddle. Please help me out here. Let me know in the comments what this is. Something to do with the recording, maybe, in the studio? Yeah, that was nice, actually, and that kind of confirms that I just don't think I've ever listened to this all the way through. I've heard bits here and there. Definitely never seen the video all the way through. I'm going to give this a watch a few more times. Wallow in my envy for their long, long locks of hair. But yeah, I mean, classic song. 1.4 billion views on YouTube. I can certainly see why. I wonder how many records it sold. But I'm going to leave that there because we have the 2007 Wembley live version to get to now, and that has 313 million views. Whoa. 16 years after the original song was released, will be interesting to see if it's different, the same, how they've changed, if they have. So if you want to see that one with me, that will be my first time seeing it, head on over to the link below in the pinned comment or description. And if not, well, thank you very much for watching. Comment down below if you'd like to see more Metallica, and if so, which songs. I don't know any of them, I think. Make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. It really does help, and I will see you next time.